What is preventing you from hitting your length goal? Is it your products? Is it your choice of protective styles? Or is it your hair type? What if I tell you that it might just be how you detangle? While detangling is a necessary process in every hair care routine, it is also one of the most stressful processes for our curly kinky hair. The tugging, pulling, and stretching that our natural hair undergoes during detangling exposes each strand to breakage and mechanical damage that can eventually lead to thinning and balding. But I am not saying all this to scare you, because truthfully, all this can be avoided if you detangle properly, and that is exactly what I am going to be showing you in this video. So please make sure to watch to the end and feel free to subscribe along the way. Before you start detangling, make sure you are in a good mood and there is time to be gentle with your hair. Otherwise, don't try to detangle because you will end up rushing through and cause damage to your hair. So the first thing I did, guys, was to put my hair in sections, and I used some satin scrunchies to do so. Putting your hair in sections will prevent hair that you are not currently detangling from getting in the way. Sectioning will also help you to detangle all your hair without missing anything. The second thing I do is to spray my hair with water to hydrate it. Detangling dry hair is not safe, guys. Your hair is less flexible when it is dry, so the tugging and pulling will easily break it. After I apply water, I separate the hair a little, so when I apply my hair butter and oil, every strand will get to absorb the products. Two things you should never do is 1. Go straight to detangling with a comb, and 2. Rush the process. Detangling is a stressful process for the hair, and this process can cause unnecessary breakage and damage if not done well. You should properly prepare your hair to withstand the stress of this process by using products that softens the hair and has good slip. Also, be gentle. Use your eyes and hairs to make sure you are not damaging your hair. You will see if your hair is breaking, and the snapping and cracking sounds will make it possible for you to know that your hair is breaking. Before using a comb, I always finger detangle to get out difficult knots and tangles that I know the comb would just rip right through. You see, guys, the comb is a helpful tool, but it can also be destructive to your hair if you use it when you shouldn't. My rule will always be fingers first or fingers only, because your fingers can feel while a comb cannot. And since it's easier to rip through your hair with a comb than your fingers, I advise you use your fingers to carefully get out the knots than to rip through them with a comb. When I am finger detangling, I basically use my thumb and index finger to separate my hair. These two fingers act like the teeth of a comb, but not exactly. because I can feel what I am doing and I have more control over what is happening. I can stop and focus on a specific strand or strands and pull one strand at a time out of a knot to loosen it. I can pull on my hair without breaking it because I know how much pressure is being applied. It's hard to explain finger detangling, so I prefer if you watch what I am doing and practice it until you get it. It is one of those things you have to do over and over until it becomes a technique. One of the many things I love about finger detangling is it forces you to pay attention to what is happening and to be gentler. I continue to finger detangle until I no longer feel any major or difficult knots and tangles. When it's time to use a comb, I start from my ends upwards. This is just to make sure I am being careful because starting from the roots where my shed ears are, which is always the most tangled by the way, will be me ripping through my hair and ripping out hair from my scalp that wasn't supposed to come out. When I start from my ends and work my way up, by the time I reach to my roots, the end and middle will already be detangled and free for me to just safely get through my roots and work my way back down without breaking my hair and pulling out good strands. The only hair that should come out when I reach the end again is my shed hairs. When I reach the ends of my hair, guys, I use my fingers to gently pull out my shed hairs. I don't use the comb to do this because I find that when I use the comb to do this, if the shed hairs are stuck onto the ends of my hair, the comb will just rip the shed hairs out and the good strands will snap and break off. Hey guys, if you've made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've been learning a lot so far. I know that it looks like I'm finished, but I'm not finished as yet. I still have some more tips to share, so please continue to watch to the end. Please feel free to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Thank you. When detangling with a comb, fighting with your hair is a no-no. Don't fight with your hair, work with it. If the comb is stuck somewhere, don't try to force the comb through. Instead, go in with your fingers and gently work through the knots and the tangles. Another thing I want you guys to know is that our curly kinky hair is not straight. So the aim is never to be able to pass the comb through, but to gently get out the shed hairs, major knots and tangles. Over my 5 years going on to 6 this December, I've realized that it is a waste of time to try to perfectly detangle my hair because it will just be tangled again in a blink. Natural hair literally loves tangling, guys. And if you don't accept this about your hair, you will end up over detangling, cause breakage, and this will prevent you from ever growing longer hair. I detangle just enough to get out major knots and tangles, which will prevent my hair from matting and locking up. Also, I detangle just enough to be able to put my hair in a style, because too much detangling doesn't work for our natural hair, it works against it.